Thank you. Okay. All right, I think I'm live, aren't I now? As we're tearing it up down here. Hey, everybody, it's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, coming to you live from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Got my sage. It's a good night for sage. I'm going to sage. We're here for our live talk forum show. And we're going to do a little sage, get the energy off of us right now, everybody. This is Wednesday night show with us, Lynn Rene MacDonald, live talk forum. It's where we answer all of your questions, any and all questions that you have going on. Here tonight in our show, both metaphysical and earth world, Saturn's earth world, our show teaches about love. Best tools, wisdom, gifts, everything you need for the new world and always in our lives on a personal level and across the board in everything in our lives, with everything in our lives. So, again, this is Live Talk Forum. It's with Lynn Rene MacDonald. And our show is done on donation, and so you can donate any way that you choose to donate. Donate from your heart. In other words, you can donate financially, as we've talked about. You can donate by coming to the shopping center, by sharing what we do. These are all ways that everybody can donate, as you know. And I just want to take a minute here right now to say thank you to everybody who has been donating, who has donated, who does donate it in whatever way that you do. We're super grateful, super grateful. And our show is really about helping people, teaching people the God's honest truth about how God or love works, and how Saturn's earth world works, what's going on in the collective, what's going on in your personal lives, and answering any and all questions that you have in reference to this. That really is what our show is about. I'm trying to get my sage going here, but it's giving me some challenges. All right, thanks God for changing that now, please. Okay, so our show runs from 7:15 to 8:45 on Wednesday night, every Wednesday night. I see everybody coming on here. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Rachel and Jen are a little indisposed over here. They're still working on stuff. They're getting me a tea, and they're getting set up over here. So they'll be coming on in a few minutes. And Rachel, Jen, and Sophia are our hosts who are with us also tonight here in our shopping center, Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon. And I just want to say thanks to everybody for being our people. Thanks to everybody for your donations, for coming each week, for participating, for sharing what we do, and bring your questions every week. We will help you, and give you the tools from love for your greatest life, greatest wisdom, everything that you need from love, okay, from higher knowing, from God, all right? We're talking about love in the purest form, the energy of all that is. We're not talking about the darkness in this world and the satanic God of this world. That's not what we're talking about here. So let me make that clear. Rachel got me my tea. I'm having some hibiscus peach tea. Fantastic for your circulatory system, alkalizing, as well as high blood pressure, lowering your blood pressure, what else does this tea do? It's a natural diuretic, so you do have to make sure you have enough fluids in your body when you do use it or work with it. Okay, so I see some people on here. And so tonight's show, we're going to answer your questions as always. We're going to answer last week's questions. We're going to answer this week's questions. And we're going to probably talk about some things in the collective, what's going on in the astrology, because there's some really, really good things coming and happening. And there's also going to be challenges. These times, as you guys probably already know, this year, 2023, has been a wild year. It's going to continue to be wild. There's going to be a lot going on, a lot of challenging things, and a lot of good things, but it's all for the greatest good from love. So we're going to talk about some of the astrology placements today, and anything you want to know, please ask about Saturn's universal law, the law of all that is God or love, because this is what this show is about, and is to answer and help people, teach people the formula of love. And as many of you know, or all of you who come regularly, excuse me, you all know that that's what we do. So thank you all for coming. I'm going to ask Rachel, who's here tonight.
So far we have Teresa.
Okay.
And we have Angel and Andrea.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming.
We have
Francis,
thanks. And Nicole and Evelyn and Kathy Wormack just came.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for coming. Thanks, guys. Thanks. A lot of our regulars, huh?
Yeah.
And if not, then we got some new regulars too. I see on there. All right, we got Sophia with us. Jennifer's a little bit challenged. She's having some issues and she's a little under the weather, but she'll be in and out as much as she can. All right, and then we have Sophia with us too. Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. Okay. So Rachel, do we have any questions from last week?
No, we don't have anything from last week.
Nothing left over.
Nope.
Oh, and that's the other thing, as many of you know, we have the new show that's Friday nights. It's psychology, mental illness, and addiction, and that includes all kinds of anything psychological or unwell or challenging that you want to bring to the table on a high-end personal level. We're going to do clearings. We're going to talk about how energy works. As you know, that show is on Friday night. This Friday it will also air, so this will be our second show on Friday, and it's about helping you live your greatest life. 12th House Recovery, it's called, and it's about being free of addiction in all ways, learning all about energy, the psychology of the human soul, how to live your greatest life, how to work from love, of course, but more in depth than we do here on this show here, and that is designed to help people heal from addiction and have the tools to live their greatest life, as is this as well, just different ways, but all working with the same formula of love. Okay, so that's Friday nights. If you know anybody who has super challenges, and this is also, for people who are in the families too. A lot of us forget or we don't realize that when you are in a family with an addict, life is really, really difficult because so more often than not, depending on the severity of the addiction, they will spend the family's fortune. They will steal from the family. They'll steal from their friends. They lie, they cheat. It's a tough life, and you love these people and you want to give them 100 chances because you love them and you're your family, and they keep trying to do the right thing, but they just can't. And so these are the things we're going to pull out, working with astrology and the formula, what I call really God astrology, working with God or love, and the energy and the Christ formula of high-end love to remove all these patterns and teach you guys how to do it so you are free of these things, and how to work with God or love one-on-one consciously by showing you our examples in our lives. And we're going to deal with really heavy shit like mental illness, severe mental illness, everything from, really crazy schizophrenia, to psychosomatic things, to mad fears, to anxiety, to PTSD, to things like ADHD, obsessive compulsive disorder, all of these things, because the earth world does not address them in the way that we do overall, right? And this is all part of our gifts to bring to you guys to help heal and teach you how to change your lives in the best way from love. And we're going to do energy work. We're going to do just mad amounts of everything that is love given to me by the formula of God, and all that we do throughout our lives that we have practiced and done that has gotten us to this fantastic wellness in our souls from lifetimes. So this is going to be a great journey. Please do share, come to the show. We'll give even families tools to cope, to get through, wisdom to help, in a different way than they teach out here in Earthworld. It doesn't mean that you can't use Earthworld addiction and Earthworld recovery services. By all means, do what works for you from your heart. But our show is free. If you can donate, do, and it's just more tools for the world to change and work on themselves. So the higher we vibrate and the more we do this work, the more we understand the formula of God or love, the more we heal ourselves. And through this process is the whole idea of what our show is going to be about on Friday nights. And that's going to be just like tonight, 7:15 to 8:45. You can bring your questions, your stories, your situations, and we will help you with that. We will also share our stories from our journeys with all of this so that everybody can understand. And whoever doesn't feel like sharing or wants to remain anonymous, you can call us on the phone. You can tell us, my name is Susan, or my name is whatever, and we will answer your questions here live on the show. So you can still share your stuff and remain behind the scenes where people don't know your challenges and your stuff, because in today's world, it can be pretty challenging out here, and we don't need it to be any more challenging for people to get well in a world that is really sick, where people take advantage of people and don't do the right thing from love. And this is the world we live in today, and we keep expecting it to be the way it used to be. It's not that world anymore. All right, the toxic is oozing out. So the question becomes, how do I operate to be the best me and work with love to live my greatest life and heal anything psychologically or unwell in my soul, because this is really soul psychology. This is about what the truth is in the soul, what the truth is in humanity, what the truth is in society, what the truth is in human behavior here in Earth World on all the levels of God and or astrology, and understanding all of those things at whatever ages you are, how things truly work, not necessarily the way things work in Earth World formula. So all of that is on Friday nights, all your tools to help and assist. And we're probably, like I said, we're going to come up and we're working on it with donation ways to create more money so we can keep doing the shows for free. Always your donation helps in whatever way. If you want to share the show on your page, please do. If you know people who are addicts or have addiction in their lives, and let me tell you, it's not just drugs. It's food addicts. It's sex addicts. All right. We had one working in the shop for a while, and this person was here for a while, and before we found out, and I said, hey, this can't happen anymore. And over and over and over, I said to them, you can't do this. Can't do this. You can't do this. And I spoke with them over and over and over, but at some point, this person got let go because they couldn't stop doing the toxic stuff that they were doing. And this person was addicted to sex. And as far as I know, I don't see that person anymore. And however, it's not to make them bad. It's to tell you the truth. It is in our everyday lives, and it is everywhere. And, and these are the things that we want to help people, because just like this poor person, or this person, I shouldn't say poor because this is part of their journey. All right. And this is part of their learning. But this person has to get a handle on what really happened, because they had a great career here. They were really taking off. They could have been so much more. They had wonderful opportunities, and this sexual addiction basically destroyed this person's life because they couldn't stop doing it. And as you know as well as I do, if you are in this field especially, or any field where you work with people and in your business, it's never wise to have personal relationships on a sexual level with your clients. Can't do that. You can't do that. So these are the things we address on the show without saying anybody's names or anything like that. Okay, so all right, that this is the stuff we're going to be working on. It's pretty heavy stuff. Now, I don't talk to this person anymore. They're really on their own journey at this point, because there's too much water on the bridge, under the bridge, and maybe in the future we'll talk about it as guided by higher knowing of God or love. But I just wanted to give you this person's example because it's a great example, because this person was a star, had all these amazing star qualities, absolutely a beautiful person. That's what I saw in them. That's the chance that I gave them. But this is where this went to. The bottom line is addiction destroys lives. And that's what happened to this person. They still don't really get the message because they're so busy thinking addiction is about drugs and this and that and this, that they can't see the wool over their own eyes. And this is all part of those things that we're going to do. We're going to get to the bottom of the truth, the God's honest truth, to help everybody be well. That's Friday night show. We also will do some of those things here as well, always. Anything you want to know, work on and do in your life, whatever it is, we do medium work, we do medical intuitive, so we'll answer your questions with health. We'll answer your questions with health for you, with your dog, why somebody passed away, why you're sick, how can you help you be well, how can you help you psychologically, maybe you're challenged with fears, anxiety, PTSD, ADHD, okay, all kinds of stuff. We will give you alternatives in this earth world for ways to handle things that they don't normally give you out here in allopathic medicine, and they're moving in that direction, as you know. So as you know, everybody, I've already said a lot about this, and I want to move on, but I want you guys to know that this is about everybody, because all of us have some form of issues, challenges, psychologically, there are energies in our soul, and we have to deal with everybody else also in our realities who has challenges and stuff going on as well. Friday night show, we'll see you there, guys. It's at 7:15 again, 12th House Recovery. Bring your questions, anything you want to know. I already have some great material to share and clear and work on, which we're all going to do, because Friday night show, if you come all the time, there's no way you can't get better. There's no way you can't live your greatest life. There's no way that you can't practice these things that we teach. And if you do what universe or God or love is guiding you to do, and you can't beat the free man, right? And you give back in whatever way, guided by higher knowing of love, authentically from your heart, there's no way that you can't be well. truth be told, and in all ways. Doesn't matter, what kind of addiction, what kind of mental illness, whatever it is that you have going on, your challenges, all right, you can change anything and everything with love. That's what we do and teach. Okay, see you Friday night for that show, and back to our show tonight, Live Talk Forum. Do we have any questions for tonight, guys?
Yes.
Okay, shoot. Rachel says we have questions.
We have Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find her. She is asking
Hey, Nikki.
She said her whole family needs a rage clearing and better communication manifestation. She said, please, because her temper is wilding, and thank you.
Okay. All right. So we're going to ask God to come in and remove all these energies that are making us rage for Nikki and her family from love. All energies, that is all of that. And we're going to remove all of this from us, and anything that is like this from everybody here who so desires it. We're going to take this energy now and free us from it, connect to it. All right, release it, balance it, heal it, process it, and be free of it. Thank you, God, for these gifts now, please, from love in the purest form. And in place of this, let's put the best way to be from love in the purest form. Gifts, tools to handle these emotions, these energies, and everything going on in our lives, and the best way, the new best way, that is best for us, the God's honest truth of it, to do this. Thank you, God, or thank you, love, for this for us. And this is for Nikki and all of us here on the show. Thanks, God, for that for us. And you will notice things changing in your life. The second we do this kind of work, the second it starts to happen, because this is just doing spiritual work, or some people call it prayer, right? God does not answer our prayers. And what is prayer? Ask and you shall receive. That's simply what it is. So you ask, you put your energy into it from your heart, and you ask, you receive, you let go. Okay, so this show is all these things are going to affect you profoundly, and it starts to happen now, because the universe, God, or love does not never answer our prayers. And the more you learn how to do this, and you streamline and work with us here on this show and on Friday night show, the more amazing and incredible you're going to be in all that you are, and live your greatest life. And many of these people who you see on here are many of my regular clients, whether you realize it or not. They have worked with me for a really long time, right? And it doesn't necessarily take a really long time, but during that time they realize their whole lives has changed. They're having wonderful experiences and changes and amazing things happening from the moment we started. And if it didn't keep on happening, guess what? They wouldn't be here tonight. They wouldn't be coming. They wouldn't do this work. But just like everything, I can lead a horse to water, and the old world saying is, but I can't make him drink. So it is up to you to join us each week, to be part of it. You can't beat it, because it's what? It's free. You can even watch the replays and get the spiritual work or the prayers on the replays on my YouTube, on my Facebook, because we do our best to keep them up, and you should be able to scroll back. But we put them all out on my YouTube, on my Facebook, so you can see all of these shows and you can work with them. You can ask love for these prayers that we do for you. Thanks, God, for that for us. Always from love. Okay, so Nikki, that's going to help alleviate, change all of this energy. When I get, again, in the energy of your family, yeah, it's a hotbed, because here's what the deal is. Excuse me. Excuse me. Out of everyone in your family, Nikki, like the three people that we're really talking about here with the rage issues that are the most prominent in your family, and you're having rage issues and they're having it too, all right, you are the most communicatively open. The challenge that causes these rages is that these people don't talk about it. More often than not, one of our greatest challenges is not what we're feeling, not what we're going through, but our inability to talk about it, our inability to get to those emotions, our inability to listen to each other, tell each other what's going on, hear each other, speak to each other. And this is where that rage is stemming from. So let's ask God to be free of that, and the best gifts of communication, and so be it, from love, for Nikki and for all of us here. Because if we can't communicate our needs and communicate with other people and in the healthiest, best way from love, that means really truly listening, really truly being present, really truly thinking, being interactive, being in that space, hearing, listening, right? And communicating, participating, okay, all right, from love. That's what communication is. The more we do that, it's about being a genius in this field as well. And you will learn all of these things because you cannot bury your feelings. You can't disconnect from your feelings, because this is so much of the problems that facilitate and keep our unwellnesses and these battles like rage in us keep on going. Rage, incredible sadness, non-functionability. I know so many people who are so gifted and have massive gifts, but they can't go anywhere in life because they can't communicate. They can't share their gifts. And there's tons of them. It's heartbreaking. And I used to be one of those, right? And that's not a bad thing. It's just the truth. It's the truth. I used to have these great dreams, but, I got to get off the couch and be able to do them. I have to be able to talk to people. And if I'm emotionally set back or toxic or unwell in me, and there's all infinite ways of being emotionally unwell, then more often than not, I'm going to have some kind of communicative challenge where I can't be the boss, or I can't have that job, or I can't share my gifts, or I can't function. And that destroys everybody's lives, because communication is key in everything that we're talking about and doing here. All right. In terms of the addiction show, in terms of this show, if I can't communicate to you professionally, and not just professionally, but also in the best way from love, then it can't get through to you. And if I can't get through to you, then you're less likely to do it. You're going to quit doing it, and what I do wouldn't work. Okay. So it's super important that we be expert communicators, and this show is going to teach you how to do that. Okay. In your lives every day, no matter what the challenge, it's going to teach you how to read energy, everything. And this show here does that now as well. So both of these shows are actual diamonds for you guys to keep in your pocket for your greatest future, no matter what comes. How to talk to love, how to work with love, how to work with other people, how to communicate, how to be in your heart. Okay. All right. So that said, Nick, that's what's going on there. I'm sure you probably know that, but just to solidify and tell you that, if they would just be straight up, but you too also, it behooves you to write down what you want to know, what your questions are, so you can get the story and all the answers to it. Because the first step in communication is knowing what we need for ourselves. What is our emotional stuff in us? What's going on there? Being cognizant, understanding it, and being able to speak to people to get our needs met. Sounds really simple when I speak it, right? But when we sit down and try to do it, a whole different thing happens for so many of us, But this too was my journey to get to this space as well. And this is why we're doing the show, because I'm done suffering. I'm done being miserable. And I want you guys, I want the world to be in a healthy space, and I want none of this suffering anymore. And what has happened out here really facilitates all the things that none of us really want on a personal level or on a world grand scale. So this is why we're doing the show. We change us, we share all of this wisdom, we raise our vibration in the world, we dump our shit, in other words, be free of our unwellnesses, and we can do anything, and we raise the vibration of the planet, and we create more and more wonderful, loving, amazing energies to come in and to facilitate this process even quicker of love, changing the world, really, okay, and eradicating this incredible darkness, okay. All right, and that said, who's got the next question?
I do. It's not really phrased as a question, but I'm assuming she's asking. Francis de Bartolo Lucia is asking, career change, feel like I have no direction right now.
Okay, the first thing that comes in across the board for you, Francis, is a lot of confusion. When Jennifer speaks your name, she has a hard time speaking it, okay? There's a lot going on in your name. There's a lot going on in you. This is why, she said your whole name. So you have a lot of different challenges and things going on in you, and the truth of what's happening right here, right now, in the moment reflects that in the energy of your name. It doesn't mean that it's bad, but it tells me what's going on in you in the moment. Pretty neat shit, right? Yes. And this again is about reading energy, being able to see into things as they truly were. If your name was Francis Smith, then I wouldn't be saying that. I wouldn't. But when we start to get into Debolatola or all these really intricate things, or the words of your name, so to speak, then it becomes more and more complex. I don't care who you are. The longer, the more names, the harder they are to say them or understand them in different languages or whatever. It creates different energy for everyone and more challenging energy as a general rule across the board. Okay, so your name tells me that you are a very old soul. Francis is a very old name. Okay, very old name, very old world. Prophets and saints come in with the name Francis. Okay, so this tells me a lot about the core of your soul in your heart. You have beautiful prophet energy and saint energy, and people go, well, you can't be a saint and you can't be this. Yes, you can. It's just not in the way that people think. You carry that energy with you, and you're not literally that same thing exactly in this lifetime, but everything is layers of God, and it is infinite. So know this: you carry the energy of saints with you. You carry the names with prophets as well as kings. So you have all these energies running in you, which also reflects in your name. Why are we talking about this? Because you're super gifted and super complex. You're having a challenge figuring out who you are, what you want to do. You have so many things going on, but the key here is to go back to who you truly are, Francis, in your heart. What is it that you love to do? Who are you right now? And who do you want to be? And what do you want to do in your future? Because you have so many gifts. So many gifts. I see you on there. This is the challenge. Sit down, write down your gifts, and it's going back to being a saint, being a prophet, being a humanitarian, changing the world from love. So where in your life are you doing that? Have you done that before in your careers? Where are you going to be morphing these energies into the new you, the new world, and your dreams and your happiness? How does this work? Ask and you shall receive. Because I see many different paths, many different avenues for you coming in. And I could just say, well, you're going to be a writer, a public speaker, you're going to be a teacher on so many different levels, but you're also, when you have a lot of complex energies in your name, more often than not, you have layers of lifetimes of gifts that you have mastered. Okay, but also with that comes layers of lifetimes of toxic shit that comes with that. Do you see? So these are things you'll have to work on and dig out and clear out and change, i.e. hence the show, right? This show and Friday night show. But you can also do this yourself with the formulas that we teach here. You can go to my YouTube on a personal level and do it as well. Do you see? Does she have a question or something? No? Okay. So what does come in for you, you have massive metaphysical gifts, whether you realize it or not. You're super intuitive, you're super gifted, and you can do dream work, you can do metaphysical, all kinds of metaphysical work. There's no question about that. How you use that in earth world is up to you, because I do feel you love earth world jobs, but you also love the metaphysical, and you will morph these things into the future. But the key here is for you figuring out not what you want to do exactly, like one thing, but infinite. There's infinite you can do. So what is it that you love the best and want to do? All because I do this on the show doesn't mean, like many of you know, I'm an artist, I'm a writer, I'm a face painter, I have a shop, we have a center, we have, all these different businesses that are part of who I am. We help people, we do medium work, I'm a medical intuitive, I'm really a soul psychologist, right? We bring people the tools of love energy. I teach, I do public speaking, I go to shows and events, we do shows, literal shows, as you know, at the oceanfront as well, and we do face painting events. So we do infinite amounts of stuff, right? And I have a whole team of people here that I work with who work with me from love. And so this said, I don't have to do one thing. I can do many things, right? I've done murals in people's home and artwork, commissioned artwork. I still do those things. Whatever my soul leads me to is all part of who I am. So you, Francis, will make money in many ways in the new world. And it is all about helping people heal, working with people. Whatever it is that you choose, working with people, working with animals, because I work with animals too. Okay, I do medical intuitive stuff and behavioral behavioral stuff with animals. I understand what's going on. I can talk to people who have crossed over. You all know this, right? But the reason I'm saying this is because this is who you are, Francis. You have all these gifts, whether you realize it or not, and you're going to be stepping into this more and more as you go into the new world. And your name tells me all of these things. Where the stuff is that you have this incredible confusion about how to get to those places. Let's ask love to clear it. Let's ask love to get a pad and write down everything that you love to do, and then we can go through it next week in this process. All right, we'll help out everybody here, because this will help them, because your journey is everybody else's as well, because we're all stepping into the new world, our new destinies, and it's been a long time coming, but these tools here of writing it down, clearing out these energies that stop us, cause the confusion, cause us to not know who we are, what we truly love, or heal or block us, and we're not healed, where we can get to these answers. Do you see? So this is what universe, God, or love is telling me to tell you for what to do. Okay, sorry, we're having some people, I think, coming in, or they might be coming in for the show or for the shop, because we're still not in the new space, so we're having a little bit of confusion here ourselves. So if you want to, I suggest you do this either for Friday's show or next week's show here, so that because this is really about your career and what you can do for that. Hi guys, thanks for coming in. Make yourself at home. If you have any question, we're here for you. Just say hey, and I'm sure Jennifer or Sophia or Rachel can help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're doing a live show, so I just want to let you know. Okay, cool. You're not on it. It's just us.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Okay, and if you have any questions, please ask.
I will.
Thanks. Okay, so Francis, this is where universe is guiding me to tell you to go. You can do any of these things and all of these things. It's up to you. Just like that's why I named so many of the things that we do and that I do, and also the reason we're like this is because we are super gifted creatives. We are high-end Christ energy, love energy, and when we are that, we don't do just one thing like they teach in Earthworld, like be a teacher or a fireman. We're usually, especially high-end Christ energies and high-end spiritual people, what happens is we do many things, not just one thing. We do many things. We have the gift to do infinite. And the new world is entrepreneurship, because then you see the dark world can't get a handle on you when you work for yourself and you do all these different things. And this is all part of the plan of God. Doing what you love is what the new world is about, because they can't have a handle, not making you a slave to some company and their rules and regulations, which they are continuously trying to do in this world with everything that's going on, and really has been. If you don't conform to their system and their ways, well, then you can't buy a house and you can't do this, as many of you know. But that's part of the grand design of darkness, to stop you. Because if you find that you can't buy a house, or you can't have this, or you can't have that, you're more likely to do what they ask you to do. But you never, ever, ever sacrifice your dreams. Got this, Francis? In other words, you never, and all of you, never sacrifice your dreams for doing what you love and want to do in your heart, ever. Okay? That's what so many people did with the inoculations and the COVID shots. Oh, well, they told me I can't fly, so I'm going to do what they want me to do. Fuck that. And fuck them. No, that's not how love works. Love says, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? Go for it, because I love you. Because this is how God or love itself works. If you know anything about love and have loved anybody truly in the healthiest, best way as much as possible, whether it be a pet, a person, animal, mother, father, sister, friend, brother, whoever it is, you know that when you love something, you only want all that is good for it. All right, and that's what you should want for you. Self-love, the true spiritual journey, loving who you are, everything about you, and living your dreams. And that's what this new earth world is about. Okay, so you have lots of options. Bring your stuff next week, and we'll help you pick what you like. But you just write a whole list of all the things that you love. I'm sure a lot of this stuff will be in here. You can do it in any way you want, and bring it if you want next week, or you can do it yourself, and then ask love to know what the best ways to do, how to do this. And this is a great tool for all of us in these times. So thank you, Francis, for sharing, because all these things are any of your options, and you will be great at all of them if you love and want to do them. Because that's how it works. Nobody is happy doing what they don't love to do. Nobody is great at anything they don't want to do or don't love to do. Nobody is. You know what I mean? Yeah, because that's the truth. When you do what you love, you're happy, and you are the greatest you can ever be at it. can't not happen that way, because that's how love or God or universe works. Okay? All right. So there you go. So Rachel, who is next question?
We have Angel.
Okay.
And Francis says thank you, by the way.
Francis, you're welcome. And you too, Angel. There couldn't be more prophets and saints and angels and humanitarians on the fucking show tonight. Angel, the name Angel itself, right? That means you have literal angel energy, literal, yeah. And it's in you from lifetimes. Really super cool. Just like Francis. Super cool. All right, so go ahead.
Angel said, I've been doing therapy on a lot of my trauma. I've been triggered lately by something that came up, and I've been struggling with a deep childhood memory that I thought I'd already dealt with. I'm in the middle of doing EMDR once a week, trying to process it. Basically, I'm 13 years old again, trying to understand why my mother sent me away to foster care. She said she keeps seeing it, and it's so crazy. She literally feels like she's 13 and going through the trauma again. She said she's not sure exactly what her question is. She just wants these feelings to stop.
Yeah. All right. So the first thing you want to do is let's ask love for that. Let's ask love to be free of these tormenting feelings in reference to that. That we release all of these energies in us and in Angel as well. All of this. We remove them completely. All past life stuff, all energy that is all of this in our soul that we carry around are disconnected from, or can't reach, or can't get to, or can't feel, or can't understand, or can't see, because it's too painful for us. Because this is all part of what the soul does when we go through really difficult times and things like this in our earth world lives. Okay, so let's ask God to connect to all these energies and all that you're going through. Connect to it emotionally. Let us ask God to feel it, heal it, process it, release it, and be free of it in the healthiest, best way from love. And put the best way to be from love in place of this, and that love being the purest, all of this, in that love being the purest form of love in this reality, any reality and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us, or thank you, love, for that for us. So this is going to start that release. You're going to have dreams. You're going to have stuff that's going to come in. And let's ask God that you were able to release it and feel it, but in the healthiest, best way from love. And as well as be removed from it, from the pain and the hurt and any kind of suffering with it, so that you can release these emotions, release these feelings, and be free of them in the healthiest, best way from love. And thanks God for that for us. So these things will start to happen. And what will usually happen when we do this a lot of times, especially in these times, okay, is you will basically have dreams. You'll see an energy of releasing stuff, and ask God each time when it comes in, Angel, that it doesn't torment you, to release this energy, be free of it, and put the best way to be in place of this from love. And this is how you do it. And the more you do this, the more it's going to dissipate. Just like when you have OCD, because this comes in as tormenting you as like OCD would, over and over and over and over and over and over. And I'm going to tell you some wisdom that comes in from the angels. Angel, right? That's no accident. Okay, I'm going to tell you some wisdom as to why this happened with your mom, okay? So it will give you a better understanding, because this isn't about you not being good enough. You're a star, and you've been a star and an angel for lifetimes, and you will always be that. What has happened is your mom is not well and was not well, and that's why this happened. She could not provide and care for you in the healthiest, best way from love. And when that happens, God takes care of us in a different way, with a different solution. And even though you're 12 and you're super attached to your mom, right? And we're going to ask God to release those attachments in the healthiest, best way, and give you the best way to be from love with your mom, and all to do with this. Thanks God for that, for Angel and us. All right? And then we're going to come back around, and then we're going to ask God. Let me just come back into here, because what is happening is God has given you, right, this, or gave you this avenue to have a new life, to have a new family, to have better things for you, because the life that you were having with your mom and would have continued to have would have been far and far more and more and more toxic and unwell. And this is all part of the journey that your soul chose to be well. Remember, God doesn't give us more than we can handle, and it always does what is best for us from love. It is love. Even when we don't see it, even when we don't understand it. But when you're a 12-year-old kid, that's rough. So let's ask God to heal your inner child, to release all these energies from this lifetime, and to have the most incredible, best, God's honest truth understanding with all of this. God's honest truth of the healthiest, best way to see this. God's honest truth of the best wellness emotionally and in all ways for you. That you're free of any other tormenting that goes with this from here and into the future. Thanks, God. Thanks, love, for that, for us, for Angel and us. And let us clear all the blocks and all that is all of this, but the best way to be from love, and let her truly be happy no matter what happens, and start on the new path of her new life in the healthiest, best way from love. And let her release all these things from the past. One of the problems you're having, again, is one thing is to see it different, right? An issue of, I need to see this different than my mom got rid of me, my mom didn't want me, my mom abandoned me. Well, here's the deal. Don't you abandon you. Don't you let anyone else abandon you. You live your greatest life, and you be there for you, and you love you. Then you're not abandoning you, and you change everything out here. Thank you for these gifts for Angel and all of us. All these gifts here, clearing, healing, changes, and everything we're asking for from love now, please, because this is super powerful and super important for you, okay? Also, okay, there's other stuff. This is a whole new beginning for you to be the earth angel that you truly came in here to be. And we're going to ask that you heal your inner child, and you release this energy, and you get in touch again with the healthiest inner child in you, free from any and all darknesses. And we put the best way to be from love that is truly you, that has been buried. Let us release that and let you be happy no matter what happens with everything in your life and all the work that we've done here. Doesn't mean that you won't have challenges. Doesn't mean that you're not going to have dreams that are going to be uncomfortable or things like that. When you do, you ask love to free you from this. You ask love to understand it. You ask love to handle it in the best way from love. You ask love for the best emotional tools and gifts to get through this in the moment. Thanks, love, for this for me. So as you heal and you see these things happening, because it will now start to happen in your life. It has been happening, but you came here and asked this because this is a block that you haven't been able to get by, and this is what we do. And after tonight's show, if things don't start to change, and they change over time, and they change sometimes one piece at a time, but you will start to see the changes. You will start to feel better. You're already, the energy is coming off of you and out of you, and many of you can already feel it because you're just like me. You're super gifted, you're super metaphysical, and super sensitive. You feel energy. So all of you should be feeling this come off of you, and if you can't, ask God that you can. And if you can't see it in your life, you ask love that you do, so that you understand that what we do here works like nobody else's business, and that this is happening, will continue to happen, because God does not answer our prayers. And you will see it literally in your reality, and you will now live differently as all these changes come through. But also, when you have the challenges, as we all do as humans in Earth World, we all have challenges with all stuff like this, whatever it is. We all have a ton of challenges. And what happens is, when in those moments, when we have those challenges, we ask God, we ask love to release that energy, to free us from it, to change it, and put the best way to be from love. And thanks God for that for me. That's simple. So if you get a bad thought, or you feel like a piece of shit, or you feel like nobody loves you and could ever love you, or even more too, that you don't love you, change that. Ask God to change that to the best way to be from love. Release that from love for you. Thanks, God, for all these gifts for all of us tonight. And with anything connected to all of this free that is unwell, free us from it now, please. And give us all the best tools and the things that we ask for from love with all of this. And that love being in the purest form of love, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God. Thank you, love, for this for us. All right. So, and if you feel that as we go down this path, you're having more challenges, address them with me. And anything more that we need to look at, let's say in your astrology, the formula of your soul, right? We'll look at all of those spaces, and we're going to start pulling those things out if you want to do it here on the show, or as well as in the addiction show, or psychological or mental illness show, because this is all everything that we're talking about here, okay? And we can do it on this show, we can do it on the other show, but the whole idea here is that we are complex individuals, just like Francis's name. name. We have a lot going on. The more we got going on in our names, the more we got going on in our souls as a general rule. And souls like us are high-end God. We didn't get these gifts of being saints and being prophets and being angels because we didn't live the journey to get to those spaces. We didn't earn that. We didn't master those things. We lived it to get to those spaces in our souls. And we carry that energy in us, whether we see it or not, whether we realize it or not, whether we're truly in those spaces or not, it's in there. But we can't tap into it because stuff like this, so many times more than not, blocks our stuff. But you have the power in the moment to say, let me be free of that now, please, God, from love. You don't have to curse it or anything like that. Just ask to be free of it. In fact, that's the best way to do it because you're emotionally removed from it. Curse it and you create more of it. You see? Yeah. All right. So let me just ask, love of God, universe. So in the future and next week, you can ask more questions because it's like a giant toy pile where you remove some toys and then more things come out and more things come out and more things come out of the things that are in your soul that are, basically the stones or the things energetically that block you. Okay, so if you have any questions about this, please ask. And everybody here too, please ask. Because the more you understand what I'm talking about and what we're doing, the better, okay, the better you're going to be able to understand this across the board in all the work that we do and in your lives and be able to take these tools with you. So please do ask, and don't give up because giving up just is going to leave you to the same cycles and the same spaces where you're going to be stuck in those places, right? Keep on going. Perseverance. Use your Aries energy. We all got it. Aries is a sign that perseveres like no other. It is the warrior. Yes. How do you think people get on? Yeah. See? Even the gentleman here says, yeah, Aries. Because he knows. He knows. They have an incredible ability to persevere through anything and everything, no matter what. That's why they're warrior. Yeah. Think about being on a battlefield and all those people dying. If you sat down or in the middle of the battle, if you stopped and thought about what the fuck was going on, you'd quit. Yeah. But if you power through it with all the heart that you got for you from love, you win. You win from love. You see? So this is how these things work. Don't give up on you. When you give up on you, everybody gives up on you. And don't you dare feel like your mom gave up on you either, because she didn't. Your mom really gave up on herself. Okay, and then she couldn't be there for anybody else. Don't fall into that ancestry and those energies. So let's just ask God that you're free of that as well. And all of us are. So we are our best selves and have the best way to be in place of this from love. And thank you, God, for all these gifts for all of us. From love in our souls and in all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is, and the best way for us and all something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. Now, I know what I said here was really complex and a lot, but this is what I do. We sit here and we pull apart all of these things to remove them for you so that you can be well. But you also know this. Don't walk away from here and not believe that you have all the power to do what I do, because it's really very simple, guys. Ask and you shall receive. Thanks, love, for me being free of this. Thanks, love, for me being free of that. Thanks, love, for the best way to handle this. Thanks, love, for speaking through me. Thanks, love, for me listening. Thanks, love, for changing this for me now, please. Thanks, love, for me being the best person I can be. So whatever in that moment, you have the power just by doing exactly what I just did here. Like that. Thanks, love, for this. Thanks, love, for that. You have the power to change everything. Thanks for me being free of this. Thanks for me being emotionally well. And the more you work with this energy, the more you facilitate and rapid heal. Okay? Think of it, I like to think of it, this is something they're showing me right now, as, maybe this isn't the best analogy, but it's kind of crazy. Think of it as when people say what's going on right now with the COVID-19 shots. There's something called turbo cancer that everybody's getting. If you do what I teach you here, think of it as turbo healing. Okay? Because nothing does like the way we do. And that's what universe and the angels are sharing with me. And this includes your physical maladies or your physical challenges like turbo cancers and the shot. And you can heal from anything. Ask love, and it is so. But you must do the work. You can't just drop the ball. I've brought people to getting the custody of their children back and great things in their lives, and then they stop talking to me. And I'm like, oh, They stop working with me. Oh, because they think they're done, right? And that's okay. But then I go back and like I had a client come in today and they said, oh, I know that client and they're friends. And then she said to me, yeah, well, now she lost the kid. She lives in a room. She lost her house. She doesn't have this. Her health is failing and all this shit happens because she dropped the ball, right? Work with love all the time and you'll never drop the ball. And the toxic shit can't happen to you because you vibrate higher all the time. You are surrounded by massive love and angels and a whole team of the most powerful energy that exists. And you can't beat that. Not even Aries can beat that. Okay? I'm just messing with you.
No, you're right.
But that is where Aries comes from,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep. So, this is for all of you to know so that you can continue on this path. Don't give up on you, ever. Right? You give up on you, then everything in your life gives up on you. And that's how you lose everything and things become more and more toxic and miserable and unwell. So let us all be free of that and put the best way to be in place of this from love. And thanks God for that for us, from love. All right. In the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is, and our souls and all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is, and the best way for us to know something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. So, Angel, you'll probably have some visions come in. You'll probably have some dreams. Your soul will be releasing this. A lot of times when your soul has massive PTSD and trauma, it will release things in a way where you are removed from it emotionally and where you see it in your dreams, and you'll do multiple dreams, multiple layers of energy work within the dreams, multidimensional work in the dreams. You will, in those dreams, this will happen because the trauma is so great that this is your soul's way of working it out on a really deep subconscious level. That's what dreams are. So sometimes you can be present in those dreams and you can work with that energy, but a lot of times you may not be, but your soul will be working on this. And if you want to know those things, you can ask God or love to remember them, to see them, to know what's going on, but always ask in the healthiest, best way from love, right? Because, like, to give you an example, one time I asked, I thought it would be a great idea to understand this person that I love so much, right? He's one of my brothers, and he was really sick, and I thought it would be a great idea to get into his soul, hook, line, and sinker, and I threw all of my energy into his soul because I'm thinking, oh yeah, this will be great, I can really understand what he's going through, and then I was massively sick for like 3 fucking days. I was like, oh yeah, not a good idea, right? So I'm telling you this because you want to prepare yourself and protect yourself when you decide to do things like this and work with love or want to know what's going on in your dreams. You want to make sure that you're protected, that you don't do, and that was a really great experience for me because I was like, holy shit, but I really did. I was only in his soul for a few seconds, but it was so painful and so tormenting and so awful that it made me sick for 3 fucking days. I shit you not. 3 days. And I barely even got in that space. But that's how unwell he was, and that also was why he was so sick and unwell. You see? But I thought, in my journey of being wild and crazy and working with God, I thought that was a good idea. But it is never a good idea to do that kind of thing or anything metaphysical unless you ask love for it in the best way from love. So that's super important for everybody here because you want to make sure you have all the tools you need. I see it with healers all the time. People who heal people who work with people, they didn't sit down and talk to God about the tools that they needed to handle whatever psychological stuff or energies this person has going in on them, whether it's some kind of dark energies that they're working with in their environment or dark energies in their soul or dark energies, or toxic energies across the board in them, and they don't know how they're going to react through their psychological stuff and how sick they are, and they forget that, even though you're a counselor or a guide or a psychologist or a healer or you do EMD or whatever the fuck work that you do energetically in earth world and in all metaphysical ways, you have to have the tools and skills, just like me on this show. I have to know how to handle anything and everything that comes my way and to teach and do the God's honest truth. And the only way I can really do that is by working with love. all the time as much as possible. So before I even do the show, I say, okay, God, God's honest truth, best gifts, tools to help everybody from love. God, speak through me now, please. Love, handle this now, please. Best gifts, tools, solutions from love in the purest form for everybody. And I create everything I need, whether it's on a personal client basis or whether it's here right now in the show. And all these tools are massively important for everybody here. It's the formula of love and how to work with that energy. Okay, super important. So remember that, angel, no matter what you're doing with your dreams and stuff, if you want to know about anything and everything and everybody, anything and everything metaphysical, you want to protect yourself. You want to make sure you create, right? Ask and you shall receive. You ask love. You ask God for the best tools to do whatever you need to do from love. And you don't understand it, you ask somebody that you do. Because I have communication challenges too with people, right? I ask love that I understand them, that I ask love what they're trying to say to me. I ask love that I get it and I know what to do from love. And whether they're sitting here talking to me like I'm talking to you right now and I don't understand, internally, I'll be like, okay, God, tell me what's really going on here while they're speaking to me. Or I'll do it out here. Do you need to leave a minute?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah.
And my sister's having challenges tonight. Love her. Love her. Yeah. Oh my God, that Leo moon. It's a bear. All right. So I think everybody understands what I'm talking about here. So there you go, Angel. All right. Much love to you, and you can bring your stuff, and we'll keep on working on it, and we'll talk more about doing the astrology on it in the future, because there's tons and tons of things that block us and are connected. It's like a big fabric, like a giant puzzle. The more we change or remove these patterns from us, the more we heal us, and then we put the best way to be in place of this, and then we live our greatest lives, and we can't not. This is the ultimate formula of truly being well. It's enlightenment in its purest form and constantly working with love, however you choose to do it, but the fastest, quickest, easiest way. And this is why Christ was profound. He was a love energy prophet. It's not about religion. It is about love. Christ said, talk to the Heavenly Father. Now, when I say Father, again, things are manipulated in certain ways in the books and things like that, but the heavenly energy is what he's talking about. Talk to love. Talk to the mother and father of everything and all that is, if you want to look at it that way here in Earthworld. Because that's truly what he did. He worked with love. Ask and you shall receive. That was all the power, and we will have this. And this will bring you everything and anything in your world. And it's so simple. You don't have to sit there and meditate for hours. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do spells. You don't have to do rituals. You don't have to do any of that shit. And it's not that it is shit or that it's bad. You have to go with the space and the vibe of the work that you're here to do in your soul and whatever you resonate with. But if you want the fastest, quickest, easiest way to do anything, I'm teaching you where you got to go. There's no doubt about it. Okay? All right. And it's all about love. Okay? It's all about love. And it doesn't mean you have to do, worship Christ or anything like this. It's about love. We have many, many different, what I call deities, spirit guides, all in the whole world of everything that is love. But as long as you understand that it's love, we're working with the Christ formula, and you connect with who you need to in this arena, you're always going to be better and working on your healing. Okay? All right. And that's for all of you. Okay? All right. So, who's next?
I want to tell you that Angel was validating everything you were saying all throughout, and she loves you and she's super grateful.
Thank you, Angel. Keep on coming, girl. We're going to get this shit gone like there's no tomorrow. And not just for you, but for all of us. And thank you for being brave enough to share your shit, because so many people I know don't want to talk about it and can't talk about it because it's so painful and hard for us to talk about it. So thanks, because everybody gets the clearing, everybody gets the understanding, everybody gets the healing, because you were brave enough to share. And don't ever stop being that girl. Thanks. All right, who's next?
Another great comment. Francis said, explains a lot.
There you go, right? Oh, yeah, and we're going to keep on going. I mean, God is infinite and love is infinite, and the more you understand it, the more of an expert you're going to be across the board at everything metaphysical and your own life. I can tell people say one sentence to me, and I know who they are instantly. I know what the fuck they're up to. I know what their ambition is, what their goal is in an instant. They can just say one sentence in that moment, and it reveals everything energetically about who they are, what's going on in their souls, right? And I have the ability, right, as we all do, to then go into these spaces with God, because I got a whole team of people, we all do, or energies, and I have the power of my soul We got angels, we got guides, we have, different kinds of energies. Like one of the energies that I work with is Kali Ma. All right, another energy that I work with is Edgar Cayce. I have an ancient Chinese guide, a medical intuitive who works with me. All right, these are all my personal guides, and many of you will have the same ones. Really cool shit. We're talking about powerhouses, and of course, Christ. Of course, right? The name of the shopping center is Institute for Christ Consciousness. Hello? I love energy, right? Okay. So that said, thank you, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for sharing. And you too, Francis. You too. Okay? All right. Who's next?
Earlier you spoke about communication, and Angel made a comment. She said, I do communicate, but it seems like people aren't understanding.
Yeah.
And then Debbie said, I know exactly what you mean. It's like I'm speaking alien.
Yeah.
And I feel like you and I have that a lot, too.
Yeah, and it's in the energy. There's a lot going on in the energy right now in the astrology, in the transits, and all that is God or that is love. We could pull up the chart and we can see where those communication issues are. And you can always, here's why. You ready? And we're just going to pull this up. Because your communication, your major communication sign, that is known for this it's going to be your Mercury, your third house. So what is going on in the third house of communication in your chart and in the energy? But what's really wild, okay, is where all the other placements are going on in here, in the outside, in the transit, in your ecliptic, in astrology. So this whole outer ring, if you guys can see it, where the orange symbols are, that's the transit. I think this might be my chart, all right, but the outer ring has these orange symbols in the transit, and then you can see it, okay? You can see those outer symbols. That tells you what is going on in energy in the collective of all that is God. So this is where it is. So if we look at these spaces and the challenges that you're having, the answers are going to be right in here, right in the transit where it hits you personally, where it's going on in the energy of the collective. Thanks, guys.
Be blessed.
Oh, you too. Have a great night. They were cool. Thanks, God. Okay, so that said, these energies in the orange, these symbols are going to tell you what's going on, all right, in the astrology. And right now, I think we have Mercury is moving into, Mercury is in the second house right now in Sagittarius. It's moving into, in the transit, right, or not the second house, actually it's in the ninth house. Okay, and it's also in Sagittarius in the world collective chart. In my chart, it's in Sagittarius personally, okay, and it's also in the second to third house, okay, but being in the ninth house, okay, the ninth house is about higher knowing. So there's a bunch of different things going on here when Debbie and Jennifer says about the communication, okay, you're going to have barriers in your communication from energies that are higher knowing that can't hear lower vibrational energies and energies at different spaces of God or love. It's very much, you can go to people and you can say, like if I got in a soapbox out here in the parking lot and I was like, yeah, you guys can be free, and I could start preaching what I do on the show or do the show out there, they're going to be like, that girl's a fucking nut job. And they're not going to hear a word I say, because they're not ready for it and they're not open for it, because they're not vibing in that. So Mercury actually being in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is of higher knowing, all right, if you're not somewhere in those vibes with those people at whatever vibration they're at of higher knowing, okay, then you're not going to, it is funny, but it's crazy, and who would think that, right? And let me show you guys what I'm talking about. This little guy right here with the horns is Mercury. Let me just make sure I got that right, because nothing like telling you some shit that ain't true, right? Don't want to be doing that. So here it is. You see this little guy with the horns, and you see the what is that, Sagittarius? What is that? That little arrow? That's Sagittarius. You can see that the Mercury, right down that bottom placement, that orange little guy with the horns, that's the Mercury, okay? And you see that there, he's in Sagittarius, so this explains so much, right? And he's also in the ninth house of Sagittarius, okay? So there is lots of changes and energies coming in, but this is one of those things where generally you have a problem where people don't understand you, and as you evolve, if they're not evolving with you or in the same space as you or in the relativity of the energy, let's say everything is cyclic and there's patterns of all that is God, and if they're not in that space to hear you, in other words, they have to vibrate at a certain tone, a certain energy, all right, to be able to hear you and what you're saying. So if you're like us, more higher vibrational, you will more often than not be challenged by other people who are not in that same space. They may be in a different vibration. So there's going to be a lot of this going on with Mercury and Sagittarius, okay? And for me, as Mercury moves into Sagittarius, into the third house, all right, and that's also issues, just like if you have Sagittarius, is ruled by Neptune. Neptune, okay, is not ruled by Neptune. Sagittarius is really ruled by Jupiter, but Jupiter is the OG ruler of Pisces, okay? Pisces and Jupiter rule the 12th house, really, okay? Pisces is the 12th house, but Jupiter and Neptune rule the 12th house. Let me get this straight, okay? So Sagittarius energy is also going to be Jupiter and Pisces energy, which causes all kinds of crazy shit. What does that mean? Pisces is delusionment. Pisces is having no boundaries. Pisces is being in la-la land, not being present, being mentally unstable, unwell, emotionally jacked up. It's your past lives. It's also your enlightenment placement, okay? So you're getting like a quadruple, triple what would you call it? Ramming of this same energy, you know what I mean? Of this energy where people can't hear you. Pisces is a sign. Neptune is delusionment, and that's Pisces. So people ain't understanding, they're not listening, they're not hearing. And all these placements tell you that in the astrology, and this will always be in the energy. If you're having these problems and I'm having these problems and people don't understand me, but also take a look literally at what you're saying, what you're doing. And exactly what you're saying. Be present, be cognizant, because this is part of the problem. We think we say things, but we're in our heads thinking we said it, Mercury, and we're not really saying it out here. It happens dozens of times with my sister Jennifer as of late. It's like, and then she gets pissed off because she's got so much fucking Aries energy in her because we didn't understand what the fuck she was saying. And I'm like, well, how could we understand it if that's not what you really said and you thought you said that? Because Jennifer also is a Pisces sun. So these energies run in her, right? Jennifer's really thrilled that I'm analyzing her psychologically, right? But anyways, so you get my point, all right? So this energy is in all that is God and the stars and the transit. And then on top of that, where it hits you in your chart, in other words, in your ecliptic, in this energy, in your OG chart, your original astrology chart, which is what most people know about. Then you have your other energies in your subconscious chart, as well as your progress chart. And there's so many other formulas as well, but these are your three main bears in astrology overall that tell me the story of your soul and everything going on there on a super high-end personal level. And your subconscious chart tells of your hardcore truest demons. This here, your OG chart, tells you of your reality out here more so than your subconscious chart. But they all work together and they all can manifest in all the layers of all that is God, that is your soul. Because God is infinite. So when you have energies that, let's say, we're all having these communication challenges. This is one energy that's going along here. The other thing that you're going to have that makes people not be able to hear you, you ready for this? Right in the 9th house and in Scorpio, couldn't be more crazier, is the sun, Mars, and right now the moon, right? Well, in this particular thing, the moon has probably moved away right now, but Mars and the sun are conjunct. See these two orange symbols? Mars is the sun is the circle with the dot in it on the outside edge, the orange, and Mars is the circle with the arrow running outside. See it? They're right on top of each other. This is another reason you would have problems communicating, because the sun is the self and Mars is also the self. So now we have a huge bunch of energy that's all about the self, and it's in Scorpio, all right, which is also about the self. Mars is the high-end original OG placement of the ruler of Scorpio and scorpionic energy, getting to the God's honest truth. But what's funny about this is Mars is the OG ruler of your eighth house, which is Scorpio, which is where he's in along with the sun. And what does that mean? It's crazy shit, because Mars is conjunct the sun. You're going to have all kinds of crazy stuff going on, and this is in the collective because everybody's about themselves. Mars conjunct the sun it's almost impossible to not be about yourself at lower, especially the vibrations of humanity. Okay, so these people, now you're even challenged more because the only person they can hear is themselves and their beliefs and their way, which is why there's no negotiating in these times either. You know, that's why the Middle East is a fuckstorm mess, right? Because it's all about the self and my beliefs and my religion and my way or the highway. That's Mars. And that's the sun. Me, ego. You're talking about Leo. You are talking about Aries energy. You're talking about these wild, incredible, intense energies, all right, that are all about what? The self. And then you put it in its house of, you put that Mars in Scorpio's house, its OG house, it's on fire, right? So you're going to run into all these ways that people are not going to get along. They're not going to hear anybody but themselves, and they're going to refuse, or they're going to fight it, or they're not going to listen. And this is all going to that energy as well. It can't not. Okay, so these are ways to let you know about what's going on. Okay, same thing like in your personal life. If all of a sudden, you know, you've been trucking along and you haven't had a boyfriend in years, and all of a sudden you start to feel like you need a boyfriend. And you're like, what the hell? Well, that will be in the energy of your astrology chart, and it will tell you the story of what's going on with you. It may be that a particular sign is hitting your vertex, and you may meet your twin flame. And what is the vertex in your astrology? A person or place or thing that changes everything forever, right? Or that changes you and puts you on a new course, a new destiny, the new you, right? But because you may have some planet hitting your vertex, right? And it may be in the house of, let's say, the 7th house, and you may have Libra in that house, and it may be Venus, or it may be Leo, and it's going to be all about long-term love and relationships. And you could wake up tomorrow and feel that way, and it's because of what the fuck is happening in your chart, man. Subconsciously and consciously. It is the story of how these energies affect your soul. But you chose this journey, or you would have not chose that birthday, time, place, everything about you that you came in here with. This reflects that. You created it. You signed on for it. This is your story of all that you are from the beginning of time, going back through the astrology, just like the Akashic Records does a variation of the same thing. Okay? And so depending on what you prefer to work with all of this, the Akashic Records is mad core your history, right? But also, this is what's happening right here in the now. What's happening right here in the now in the world. What's happening on so many different intricate little levels that you can get into yourself, knowing the art of astrology. It's really pretty simple. But this will help you understand why the communication and what happens in your world happens. You may wake up, and all the people who have come to my class and have seen me like be in a shitty mood, right? I'm like, I'm just raging today. I'm raging. And that may be because Mars is conjunct my sun, just like what you see in the transit on a personal level, right? And then all of a sudden I'll be having all these challenges which will make me rage, or the energy will make me rage, or I'll feel like I'm not putting up with your shit today. But these are all the energies that are triggered. That is the energy of God or love in the moment that is affecting you, both and the collective on a personal level and a world collective level as well. And this is for all of us. It's really incredibly amazing, and it helps you to understand you. Okay, so we're going to teach you all these things, how to work with these things, how to work with these energies, what these things are. But you don't have to know astrology, right, to work with God or work with love and to change your life. Because I started first with working with love and working with God. And then universe, because I ask and I receive, I said, I need this, God. What about this? What about that? What about this? How do I know about that? Right? And information comes into me all the time because it's ask and you shall receive. And I don't literally just have to ask like I do physically here with my mouth. I can think it, I can feel it, and I can literally ask, right? Yeah. So this way you guys can understand how you can work with all the energy that is God and universe will bring in every formula, every solution, because I work with numerology. I work with energy across the board. I work with numbers. I work with words. I work with birth dates. I work with astrology. I work with every message that comes in because God is infinite and God is everything, right? Yeah. So that's what we do. And that's what we teach here on the show. And this is all the tools for everybody. Okay. This said, what else we got? Who's got the next question? And where was I going with this? And so I hope that answers your question, Jennifer, or your discussion about what Debbie and Angel were saying. I think it was Angel, right? About not people not feeling the communication, right? Yeah. So you're gonna have, that's what's going on, and everything is cyclic. So the cycles of all that is and remember, that's why they say this too shall change. That's how it works, just like the seasons. Okay. All right. So go ahead. What do we got?
We have Debbie next.
Debbie.
She said, since my brother died, I have been exposed to a whole different side of my dad that I didn't know existed. Greed. It is sad. Please help me to clear this, and thank you.
Okay. All right. Deb, when people pass away in our families, it brings in a whole other understanding of everybody in the family, because greed and earth world and family stuff like this, when it comes to wills, I see it all the time. I work with a lot of people. I've done a lot of work with people's wills and people writing out of people's wills and greed, and it's incredible. And I've seen it in my own family on a massive scale across the board, because what happens is when people pass away, a lot of the times you see their true energy and all their darkness comes out, just like you said, their greed, their stuff. Okay, so across the board, as a general rule, we can't traditionally change people like your father in the way that we would think in earth world. Like, I want to change him, or I'm going to change him in my relationship. But that's not really how it works. How it works is you change you change him. And so this is about you loving you in the healthiest, best way. I'm sure you know that. And you not giving in to the toxic greed with anyone and everyone in your family. But this is also about seeing the God's honest truth, and not just of your dad, but the other people in your family as well, because there's more going on here with this energy of the death than, and you'll find that out as time goes on about who's getting what and what's happening, and manipulation and all kinds of stuff like that. People will manipulate the relationships that they have with you when you thought they were this, and then all of a sudden some weird shit happens and you're like, wow, because that's how these things work when it comes to money and wills and hurting and grieving and stuff like this. It is high-end toxic. We've seen it with Rachel and her grandmother and Rachel's family. Have we not, Rachel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and it's a bear. I've seen it in my family in multiple levels. I think all of us have seen it when it comes to wills and death and dying. So this is important for everybody to know this, because there's incredible challenges. Always working with God or love is how you get through these things. So you ask love for everything that you need. So I'm going to just take this energy, and we're going to ask God for the best gifts and skills and tools for you to always know the God's honest truth with this and everything across the board. With your dad, and to be free of any and all greed that is all of this in any way, shape, or form, and is in anything in your life and in you as well, and is in all across the board, that you're free of all of this. Okay, and that you have the healthiest way to be with everything that you're doing in this situation from love. Thanks God for that for us. And let's clear all of these things in us and give us the best tools on how to deal with our family and the God's honest truth, best ways from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is, with everything that you're going through in all of this, and for all of us. And thank you, God, or love, for that for us. Thank you, God, for that. For Debbie, remove these issues of being tormented in any way, shape, or form, unwell or challenged with this greed that she's seeing in her dad and her emotional stuff. With this, clear all of this out for Debbie and give her the best, and for all of us, and give her and us the best way to be from love in place of this, with all that's going on here and everything to do with it, all energy that is all this. Thank you, God, for these gifts for Debbie and all of us now, please, from love in the purest form. And thanks, angels, for going and helping Debbie and her dad and creating the best outcome from love with all of this and her family. And thank you for these gifts for everybody here and and Debbie and her family from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us. Okay? So, and that we're happy no matter what happens. Thanks, God, for that for us. And why do we say that? Because no matter what happens, don't you just fucking want to be happy? Yeah, you do. And when you don't ask for that, then you have the propensity to be attached and hold on to all the things that make you upset and crazy. But when you ask to be happy, no matter what happens, you release that. And then your own dark or your own stuff doesn't get in the way of your happiness. You know, the toxic, what I call attachments that we can have to certain things, or are things that we hold on to that make us upset about our father, or that trigger us emotionally from the past and into the present. We can release all that stuff because we've asked to be happy no matter what happens. And then it's that much easier to release it. And that's important that everybody knows that. And when you do the spiritual work, ask for that. Ask to be happy no matter what, and release it, and trust the universe, trust God, trust the angels. It's like saying, Jesus, take the wheel, because this is how this stuff works. And the more you do what we teach here, like this, and the more we do this work here together, the more you get it, the more you understand it, and the more great things will keep on happening for you, and the more you'll keep on doing it. Can't not. You know what I mean? When you see something works and it works great for you and you love it, you're going to keep on doing it. Yeah, because that's how it works. Yeah. All right. So thanks, Deb, because this is great. These are great clearings for everybody. So thank you. Okay. What else we got?
We have Rachel.
All right. What time yet?
It's 8:35.
Okay. I was feeling like it's getting towards the end, but everybody, it's 8:35. So Rachel has a question here tonight. Go ahead, Rachel.
So I got a box of Christmas ornaments from my mom, and I was showing them to Jen, and I pulled out my favorite one, and then I broke it, and I was wondering about it. So I brought it in case you wanted to see it. It's from when I was young.
Okay, so you got some Christmas ornaments from your mom.
Yeah, they're mine from when I was growing up. Like, we would get Christmas ornaments every Christmas, and that was always my favorite one, and then I smashed it.
Okay. So Rachel just handed me a broken Christmas ornament from when they were kids, and this one was hers, and it was her favorite one. Interesting enough. It's got a girl in red here. I just have to make sure that I don't break it more and that we don't cut ourselves on it. Can you see her? It's a very beautiful old ornament. It's really neat. It's like almost like a translucent glass. Translucent means that you can kind of see through it, but not fully. And if I hold it up here, maybe you guys can see, you know, all the things that are on it. What's crazy about it, as I look at it, Rachel, I see a little girl with a rainbow in a dress. And if I have to see the light back here. Okay, I see stars, I see the sky, I see metaphysical, I see the rainbow, I see like little shoes. I'm just gonna light. It's getting so dark in here.
Holding a rainbow.
Right, I see her holding the rainbow, and I see like these little like ballet shoes. Right? Mm-hmm. Is that what they are? They're like all these little ballet shoes and stars all around it. And you know what I feel like this is? And then there's the girl. All right, she's got a little, interesting enough, a holly wreath around her head, and she has hair that's the same color as yours. So I do not feel that this is an accident. So this is Rachel's Christmas ornament that broke, or holiday ornament that broke, that her mom gave her, that she had from when she was a kid. And there's a girl holding a rainbow, there's stars all around it, and then there's all these little ballet shoes, and the girl is in a dress. And Rachel took it out to show it to Jen today, and it broke. Is that what happened, or was it broke when you gave it?
It wasn't broke. I was showing Jen, and then I dropped another ornament on top of it, and it broke.
Okay, so she dropped another ornament on top of it, and it broke. All right, God, what's the God's honest truth about what is going on with this? Okay. This is about you maturing and becoming the true person that you really are in your heart.
Bam.
Okay? Yeah. And Jennifer goes, bam! All right. So the girl is holding the rainbow. There's the sky all around her. There's these wonderful dance shoes. It's like totally an illusion. So this is about childhood illusions and ideas that you had of your family, your youth, your childhood that can no longer sustain in you. Hence the breaking of the ornament. So this is done on a subconscious soul level. In our reality, this is how things work. All right, your soul will break things. This is about transformation. Broken things are about transformation. Excuse me. So this was, of course, in Earth World, you say, this was an accident and I didn't want to break this. But this had to happen because you had to shatter. That's why it's glass. You had to shatter all your ideas of the past and disillusionment of what you thought your family was, who you thought you were, your childhood, your dreams. All that you thought was really what? An illusion. An illusion. And now, in order for you to go forward with the dreams that you have retained in the healthiest, best way, or the things that are important to you in your heart, in the new world, in the new Rachel world that is coming, you have to be honest with who you are, truly. You have to be and get to the God's honest truth of your dreams, your happiness. And these illusions, stop that. Now, this is what is happening in your soul, comes with the natal moon return, because now you must be an adult. And you can't, you ready for this? You can't let the illusions of the past make you do adult decisions because you're dreaming about, let's say, having children. And just because you want children so bad, you have them with somebody that's not really the healthiest person for you. Because you want them so bad, and you see these things in the illusion of, what, I want this, and what if I can never have this, and I'm dreaming of this, and do you understand that? And this again is about worth and value. Who's the partner that you value? What do you value in that partner? Is this the God's honest truth? What are your dreams that from your childhood that you're bringing forward that don't serve you? So this is your soul, literally, physically, in earth world reality, working on this. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have some big choices and big things coming, big changes. Because you're at your natal moon return, that's when big things happen. Anytime you have a natal moon return, the trajectory of your life goes in a different direction. And at the ages of 27 to 30 in the progress chart in our astrology, the natal moon return, guys, it's when you really become an adult. It's when you finish school or start a new career or a new job or buy a house or have children or have a family or have a partner or have kids. Because this happening tells me truly that the stuff from your childhood, your soul is working on releasing all of these things so that you make sure that you have the best partner for you from love. And that you make sure that you have the best father, because these are the things that your soul is looking at right now. And it can't be in a healthy space of that unless you're in a healthy space of you. And that's truly what you want. You know what I mean? When we live a life of illusion, we live a life of lies, not the God's honest truth. Let us all be free of that. Thanks God for that for us. Put the God's honest truth in place of this, the best way to be from love. And thank you, God, for that for us. Okay, got it? Yeah, you're super welcome. Let's get a box for that. I don't feel like you should get rid of it yet. Okay? All right. Okay, so what time we at now?
8:41.
8:41. We got a few more minutes left. Does anybody else have one last question?
We have Evelyn.
Okay.
She is wondering why.
Hey, baby!
She is wondering why she hates reading anything out loud.
Well, the biggest reason that comes in that Evelyn doesn't like reading anything out loud. Just hold on a minute. I'm going to ask God for the God's honest truth. This is complex, Evelyn. Bug. While you are very open and love doing many different things, Evelyn, you are also very private. There's a whole other part of Evelyn, okay, that people don't really know about internally, okay? And just like all of us, we all have things that we share with the world and things that we don't. You not like reading out loud, all right? There's a self-conscious thing going on here where you don't feel like you're good enough or you're good at it, and you're on display and you're in front of people, and this is making you very uncomfortable because there's areas in you, in your soul, that this energy hits by doing this, that where you don't feel good about you. That's why that is, okay? But really, there's nothing wrong with you, baby. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are gifted. And this is just like everybody else. It's our stuff. And now we're going to clear all that out and change it. And it wouldn't surprise me if very soon you start reading out loud and liking it. How amazing is that? Thanks God for that for Evelyn, if that's what's best for her and all of us from love. Right? Yeah. And let's take all these energies that make you feel insecure about doing stuff in front of other people or sharing your gifts and your abilities and all that is all of this that we just talked about. Let's clear all this energy out. All that it is, emotionally and all that it is, and put the best way to be from love for Evelyn and all of us. Because Evelyn, all of us have some of this, not just you, baby. Not just you. And all because you're little doesn't mean that big people don't have this kind of thing too, because they do. You know, all other kids have some of this as well. Okay? All right, so let's ask God to clear all this energy out of us, release it, free us from it, and in place of this emotionally, and in all that it is, and in place of this, put the best way to be from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is in Evelyn. Ask love that you love to read out loud. Ask love or God that you love it, you're great at it, and everybody loves to listen to you read out loud, and you love doing it, and you feel good about you when you do it, and it makes you feel good about you in all ways. And thanks God for that for us, from love, for Evelyn and ourselves, if we also desire it. And clear our blocks that stop that from happening, and let's ask God that no matter what happens, we're truly happy. Thanks God for all these gifts for all of us, and Evelyn too, from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God. Thank you, love, for that for us. There you go, Evelyn. You're good to go, girl. All right, keep doing your work. Keep coming to the show. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your mom. Proud of everybody who comes here. Good for you guys for changing your lives, because I don't exactly, or we don't exactly have a door here where there's 100 people out there waiting online to get in. It's not like McDonald's. Most people run like a motherfucker from doing this kind of work. Truly. Okay. All right. So, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Again, we'll have our next live talk forum next Wednesday, rather. Same time every week, live talk forum with me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, right here on Facebook and live in our studio space, 7:15 to 8:45. That'll be next Wednesday. Okay. And it'll be I think it's like Thanksgiving Eve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can give thanks. We give thanks for all the great things and healings, right? Thanks God for that for us. Okay, and then we have our 12th House Recovery this Friday, so we'll see you in a couple days. That's again at 7:15 to 8:45, and God bless you all, and you have all the power. Remember that, from love. All right. See you on Friday. All right.